Oh, there we go. That's a good start. Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 221. And in this one, obviously a lot to get into. Obviously dissecting another defeat. This time a home defeat, which has been rare for us this season, despite overall not having the best of seasons. And then obviously we will be getting into a QPR game, and obviously a bit of a little bit of transfer news. Might as well, a little bit of ongoing talks and well, not literally, but just looking at players and players looking at our players and sort of stuff like that, or club, shall I say? So yeah, man. And obviously players are available for this game, as we know by the title, and more current players that have already played for us could be as well. But obviously we'll get into all of that. But Dad, how are you first of all?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Hope everyone's cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So Norwich, going into it, we were both actually confident. I didn't actually say your score prediction, Dad. I forgot to. But obviously you did say a 2-1 as well. The same as me for this game. I haven't really backed us to win a lot in recent weeks, but I just thought being at home, having that home form, we'd probably nick it. I still stand by it. When we lost 4-2 at Air Ground, I don't actually think they were that great. I just think we just kept doing individual mistakes. I do think they were there a little bit vulnerable defensively, like we saw in the goals. We did get that game. But yeah, I mean, it was actually quite a close game, to be honest. When the game went on in patches, I mean, it was a better performance, but it's still not good enough for the points that are required and results at the end of the day. Obviously, as for lineup for us, so we had Kaminsky in goal, back three of Holmes, McGuinness, and Bell. Chonga's a wing back yet again. Walters on the right, Nelson in midfield with Clark and Kraus, and then Elijah and Morris up front. As for the bench, you had Anderson, Brown, Hashioka, Krul, Moses, Ruddock, Nakamba, Taylor, Woodrow. So you look at that. I mean, for me, I like Walters, but I do want to see Hashioka getting a bit of a run out. I want to see Anderson there as well, starting and stuff, because the last game he played, he was actually all right for us. But other than that, it's the same frustrations really. Chong as a wing back again, like I say, every single time you're utilising him, not utilising him, sorry, in the right way, and it's just frustrating really. And again, I like Nelson, good player, but I want to see him a bit higher up, in that sort of cam sort of role instead of centre mid. But other than that, it was everything that I probably would have expected really. But what did you make when you saw the lineup, bud?
Yeah, I was pleased that Walters was back. I do like Walters. I think he is good on that right position, and he'll probably end up staying there now. It was nice to see Nelson starting as well. And the other probably expected. Maybe a little bit surprised that we haven't changed the front two. I know they worked a few games back, but it's stopped again now. And when we was mixing it up, putting Morris on the bench or Elijah on the bench and starting Brown or whatever up front, and it was mixing it up a little bit. And then Chong weren't too bad. Should have scored really. But it's not going to carry on for much longer now. I think we've got options there now. We got Johnson who can play there. We got Bell who can play there. We got Doughty who's apparently pretty much back. Obviously, you can play there, so we probably won't see that again now. I don't think this season, hopefully. So it's going to be interesting going forward. And we had quite a strong bench, so it was good to see a couple of players coming back and that. Do you know what I mean? It was Bell and Walters, wasn't it? So yeah.
Yeah. And then moving on to the game, obviously Clark had to come off another injury. I don't think anything, has come out of that. Whether he's going to be available or anything, which is a bit of a blow. And to be fair, I didn't really think of it until we actually had a set piece in the game. I was thinking who's actually going to go on to take him for us, because obviously everyone else is injured that usually has been taking them since Doughty's been out. Obviously Doughty being out himself. And it was Nelson. It took a bit of a while on the first corner we had to actually decide who was going to take it, but it was Nelson. And I thought in this game, you guys know I rate him highly anyway from what I've seen, but I thought his deliveries in this game were really good. you know, you going on to what you said, Dad, about Chong, there was a moment where Nelson played the ball in, you know, and it was a great opportunity. That was in the second half for Chong, you know, to maybe be in a slightly better position. But his deliveries are really good. You know, he looks really calm and composed, which he has. You know, for a young player, he's looked really good when it comes to that side of things. And, you know, obviously he took the set pieces. Few half chances. I mean, Norwich had a chance. Good save from Kaminsky. Save he should be making. You know, straight at him, saved it with his leg. But you know, there was them few half chances, but still, it was one of them where yes, you're happy that you haven't conceded, but still, I sort of felt similar to, I guess, the Bristol City game in ways, in the sense of yes, it's 0-0, that's good, but I can still see something happening. You know, Sainz was getting on the ball quite a few times, had a chance, had a shot over the bar. You know, Kaminsky would have had it covered, but still, you know, they were having them chances. They were getting it, especially on his side. It was quite easy for them at times, and I did feel a bit worried every time they were going forward. Obviously, I was at this game in the new stand as well, so you can see it a lot better when it comes to that compared to other places in the ground and stuff. But yeah, it looked a bit worrying, to be fair, when they kept going forward at times and things like that, really. And again, it was sort of the same mold from us in the sense of trying to hold up the ball. It's not working. I mean, there was good moments, good passages of play, getting out and stuff. You know, Elijah had a chance, a shot. You know, keeper always going to save it, but we done well to get out of it, and we did do that at times. I mean, Morris's hold-up play, you know, passing it back and trying to make things happen after was better in this game. But there was still them chances where we didn't really look like a threat, really, if I'm going to be honest. You know, when it comes to proper chances, you know, maybe one or two, but overall still wasn't great. But what did you make of the first half, Dad?
It went too bad. You know, they weren't dominating us as we you know, we're relatively good at home. I liked some of the forward play from Nelson. You know, defense is looking a bit more solid nowadays. This, you know, especially at home. Walters looked pretty good. We created a couple of chances, you know, but it's just, and the Clark coming off, I think he was strapped anyway. I think he was just like, he was half not fit enough anyway, or you know, do you know what I mean? So, you know, but Nakamba come on, and I thought Nakamba done really well as well when he come on. Like, it's the best game I've seen him this season. So I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. The first half.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't the worst. Like I say, it's always good when you don't concede. Sometimes in a lot of games we have had slow starts. It wasn't obviously quite like that. But going into the second half, obviously they made a few changes. Quite ironic because obviously Ashley Barnes come on, and then the day later, obviously he's gone back to Burnley. But yeah, he come on, and then obviously they got the goal. Like I said in my reaction, and you know the fan cam in Mike, it's a very similar goal to what we conceded against Bristol City, in the sense of the time and space being given. You know, Nunes, it was a great strike. A few people say maybe Kaminsky could have done better. I don't really blame him. I think we should have closed it down a bit better. And again, similar sort of angle, really, to the goal we conceded against Bristol City. Like I say, not quite the same finish, but the same in the sense of the space. And it was frustrating from there on in. It's another one of them moments where I'm thinking it's going to be another mountain to climb. And I'm sure you was the same, Dad.
A little bit, yeah, because we didn't really make any subs until like later on, wasn't it? We should have probably changed it straight away then, because we was actually in the ascendancy in the second half. Our second half performance was decent, and then there's some play that I liked. What I've noticed is now, like when Elijah and Morris or whatever are holding up play, Krause is bombing forward and getting involved. It's only a matter of time before he gets a few assists, because he's doing that a lot more. So that's where we're kind of not playing with the cam, and actually I don't mind that, because it brings more players into it. And we, you know, we were unlucky not to score a couple of times. I mean, obviously in the first half, Elijah had a header, Cross from Morris, and then Chong just unlucky. That would have been a good finish, similar to the finish today, actually. Well, kind of that Man United scored or whatever the first goal, whatever it was. But yeah, and also I think we used to Kaminsky saving a lot of shots, and I think that's why. But also I think he was a little bit blindsided by that, and the defence kind of half expected it to be blocked or Kaminsky to save it. But I reckon he's probably a little bit blindsided by it, and when you let quality players on the ball, that's what happens, isn't it? But they didn't dominate us that much, really. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was quite even. They may be slightly better in the first half, but we were definitely a better team in the second half. We should have made the substitutions earlier, and that's it, really.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. A lot of fans were frustrated.
Nelson's went on to set pieces, didn't he? And he was doing some good crosses in the box, free kicks and stuff. We just got to look after him a little bit. I think he got a yellow card, so obviously we had to take him off because the Johnson situation happening. But we're getting players back now, so that does give me a little bit more confidence. We've got the new signing. Doubt is back. Hopefully it balances the team out more. But I still would say, even if Doughty does come back, that he's not taking everything. Please just mix it up. You've got other players who can do deliveries. You know what I mean? It's not a one-man post office. Do you know what I mean? There's other people that can do deliveries, mate. So yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was frustrating because of the position we were in. If we'd have won at least one or a couple of them away games and then lost to Norwich, we probably wouldn't be that annoyed about it. Do you know what I mean? Because with the way we have been playing, we have got some lucky results at home. And yeah, it's right. What he said earlier in the season, the crowd, we need the crowd, but the crowd needs to see things. And if they're not seeing things, then do you know what I mean? And then he threw 3 strikers or whatever it was, Woodrow, Taylor,
Moses, Brown,
yeah. But it was just too late, really. They need to, you need to be. Moses is just ineffective anyway, I think, when he come on. But yeah, it's just too late by then. Simple as that. I should have made it as soon as they scored. Should have done it then because we was playing all right, and that's all I can say really about that. He's running a tight rope, isn't it? Because I've said to you before, if we're in danger, if we're 4 points adrift, that's when I think they'll push the button. I don't think. Do you know what I mean? And if Portsmouth would have won today, they'd have still had cut of games in hand and been ahead of us. So it's getting a bit precarious. Do you know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We've got players back now. We'll see who we do sign, who goes. See how certain players perform and that, and that's all we can do. It doesn't shut until 1st, 2nd of February.
Yeah, so, something like that.
That's all we can do, really. We know the boards. In some ways, it is good to give the manager a chance, but there's only so much you can do, and then you're going to regret it if it goes. We cannot afford to be relegated to League One. Even with this, parachute payments or whatever, it sets you back massively because there's still wage restrictions, etc. There's be certain players that we've got that just will be gone. They're not going to be playing. They won't want to be playing in League One. They're too good for that league. Do you know what I mean? And things like that. And then you're building again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've gone on a bit of a rant there, but yeah, let's get into the player ratings.
No, that's all good. So yeah, literally. Let's do that. But yeah, subs. That's quickly what I was going to say on it. Too little, too late again, wasn't it? Really, a lot of fans coming out of that game frustrated, including myself again, because it's like, well, it's like players like Taylor, he really got that opportunity. Yes, in previous games, he's come on a bit earlier, but even this game, you're trying to chase a goal. Well, 2 goals realistically, to get a win. And the subs are too late. Yeah, again, really. And it's just frustrating. It was sort of I felt the game being there. I felt the game was petering out. Not sure if you was the same watching it, Dad, but I felt it was sort of petering out the way we were just taking so long to make subs and just how we have been. I just sort of felt it was inevitable, really, in the end that we probably were going to lose. Even when we were having them corners towards the end, I just never really felt like we could do stuff. I mean, we did it the woodwork twice. The Chong one was unlucky, to be fair, but again, I see him in this game, especially in that second half. He wanted to be higher up at times. And again, he sort of weren't going back, but I don't want to blame him personally. It's just he should not be there. He should be higher up in that cam, playing them passes in, making them runs, doing what he's good at. He can't, I'm sorry, but he can't defend. We all know this. We're not the only people saying it. A lot of people are saying it. Literally, pretty much every comment in the fan cam from Mike was saying about that as well. So, we all can see it. Why does he keep persisting with it? But like you say, that Doughty's back. He is a favourite of Rob Edwards, let's be honest. He probably will come straight back in, but I don't mind that because he is actually a wing back. So we'll see. But yeah, again, like you say, hopefully we're not so reliant on him. I've got no problem if he still takes them on one side and someone else on the other. But yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, getting into the player ratings. Before we do that, let's get into some comments. Charlie says, will our new defender be available? He should be, but I don't know if he'll be in the squad, if I'm going to be honest. I'd like him to be on the bench, realistically.
He's not
I can't see it. Because I know what we're like. We sign these players and then they're often going to development squad. It's just a bit annoying, to be honest. Ed's put a comment. I'll get to that a bit later on. Shout out to Glimpse. Obviously, he'd be very happy with the whole result. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm happy he didn't win because you would have put us down to 21st. But that's a great result for you guys because I know you lot do struggle against Leeds historically as well. See, it's a bit of a derby. So to get a draw in the way you did, fair play. Shout out to David in the chat. Evening all. Hope you're both well. No changes, so another loss for tomorrow. Said he's not going to the board. Needs to step in another hand. I want to see who he brings in. He says on the game, subs are too late, as per usual. £38 for a ticket, by the way. That is a joke. That is an absolute joke, that. I don't think I'll go around, especially after no changes since last game. Just can't. Yeah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I mean, credit to anyone that still goes, especially away. I mean, I've sort of not wanted to go as much, if I'm going to be honest, because it's just disappointing, guys. Same after same. And it's not even like, if we tried to change it up and we still lost, but give it a great performance, I'll be like, fair enough. But you just know what's going to happen, isn't it? It's a repetitive cycle, I guess, is how you could explain it at the moment. And it is, I hear what you're saying, mate. It is a joke, to be honest. But yeah, getting into the player ratings. So we'll start off with Kaminsky. Again, a few people saying about him on the goal. I'm not going to blame him. We should have closed it down. The amount of times he's prevented it from being more. Made a couple good saves in this game yet again. So for me, Kaminsky, I will go... I've seen better games. I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5, same. Made good saves earlier on. I'm looking, I'm not going to... It's not... his, we didn't do anything after that, so you can't lay all the blame on him. Maybe you should save it. I think he was blindsided. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't, you can't expect him to save literally everything, which he has done before. So 6.5.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Charlie goes 6.4 for Kaminsky. Fair enough. There we go. When it comes to that, moving on to the next player, we will go over to Holmes. We'll start off with Holmes. Again, I thought there was decent spells in this game, especially towards the end. Actually, there was a run he made where he actually got past one of their players and passed it to Chong. And then we got a corner from it. And then obviously that corner, Moses had that dreadful shot. That's terrible, absolutely terrible. But I thought Holmes was okay in this game. To be honest. So for me, I will go... you know what? I'll give Holmes a 7.
I'll give him a 6.5. I thought, he slipped early on when they got a chance, and then obviously Kaminsky saved it. Quite solid, but nothing exciting, basically. Do you know what I mean? So I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. You love the 6.4s, don't you? Ed says, I still think that swearing in that... Yeah, I think swearing's maybe a bit over the top. I do think, if you say, what are you doing? That's fair enough, innit? And to be fair, as much as I am annoyed with Edwards, I do respect that he still comes over and appreciates the fans. I do respect that. Yeah, I do think some people can be a bit over the top, but just my personal opinion, guys. I don't see how people can clap it. To be quite honest with you, like, yeah, the performance was better, but it's still not good enough, guys. Like, again, like I said in the fan club, I don't want my match reaction. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but when you sit there and say your aims to win the league and we're fighting relegation, like, the board have predominantly throughout their time been excellent, but you have to question that, what they're doing at the moment. Like, how are they accepting this? I don't know. When you sit there and say that, it's not like, even if we did get rid of Edwards now, it's not like it's going to turn around, we're going to go on and win. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just how long do you keep allowing this is my question. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's mixed opinions, isn't it? The fans should be able to voice their opinion. Paid a load of money for season tickets away days. One of the fans that had a problem is went down from the Prem. It came acceptable to lose. Yeah. No, I agree. And, there is certain people go, oh, look where we were X amount of years ago. I don't care about all that. It's the here and now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what matters. And if you're going to show that ambition to go back up, then you have to push the button for me at some point. But again, we will see. He will be back for this game, mate. It's come out a lot of news that he will be back for this game. Obviously, before he got injured anyway, or when he did get injured, sorry, they said it'd be the new year. And this is the game that's set to come back. And there isn't a press conference, by the way, guys. I mean, team news might come out tomorrow, like it did on Swansea Day, when he played Swansea. But, when it comes to an actual press conference, they won't be doing one. I have been told. So, yeah. But there is stuff. If you type up Luton Town news now, which is all right, to be fair, except when people write rubbish. But when it's all right, it is good, and it tells you Doughty and Dabo are hopefully going to feature in some sort of way, whether that's starting or not, in this game. But yeah, moving on to the next player, McGuinness. A shout out to him, by the way. It is his birthday today. I mean, as he's come on for Luton more and started, I think he's been better. I do think in the recent weeks probably been one of our best players, to be honest. But yeah, in this game, I don't think he was terrible. I think he's growing into it for us, like I say. So for me, I'll give him another 7, same as Holmes.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I thought he was pretty decent. He's winning the headers. He's become more and more solid. You can see why we signed him, and he's just going to get better as it goes on. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Then moving on to the next player, Bell. Again, I don't think Bell was terrible in this game. I thought he was decent. A few decent tackles at times in the game and stuff like that. But Bell will go slightly lower than the others, but I still think he was decent. I'll go 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. Maybe he should have closed down, but I know, say it all the time. That's not his natural position, but sometimes he's better. But it's a tricky one now because you could put Holmes in that position. You can play in that position. You could put Johnson in that position. And then you could put Walters in the back three as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But it's because of his experience as well. I've seen better games, but he's just come back from injury and that. 6.5.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Mark McGuinness 6 as Charlie, fair enough. And then moving on we'll go over to Walters. Again, what I've noticed, guys, right, when I've been in the new stand a lot of games this season, Hull and this game in particular, is that player on the right has a lot of space at times in the games. And again, a large part of that is because the ball is predominantly more on the left side of the pitch. A lot in our games at home. But again, I see it so many times. I'm like, come on, they've got space that they can exploit. I felt, if you pinged it over to Walters at time, that could have happened. A few times it did happen, but not as much as it could have, in my opinion. And I thought Walters was decent in the game. He was getting stuck in. He was doing some nice passes. So Walters, I'll go over 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. Thought he was pretty decent for his first game back. He can run up and down the channels. He's quite good at defending as well. I think I can see him carrying on and getting his place back in the team. Do you know what I mean? I thought he was all right. But so yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to the other side, Chong. I mean, it was a better game in wing back. Again, like I said, I don't want to see him playing there. Hopefully now with Doughty coming in, we won't see him play there, see him play higher up. It could be a good opportunity for him as well to do that. If he gets picked, because obviously Clark looks like he's going to be out, so he could actually go back into that cam position potentially. But obviously hit the woodwork. You know, that was unlucky. To be fair, that was a good strike. And again, like I say, in times you could see that he wanted to be higher up in this game. You know, playing where he's better at, and that is going forward. So a better game from him in wing back. So I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I don't think it was too bad. But yeah, going forward, like if we're not going to play over, maybe we will go back to the cam now and bang him in there because he has got abilities that you know, probably one of our best forward players in that respect. So it's difficult. But I just think we're going to stick with you know, 3 central midfielders because I do think it helps us. And we got so many. We got that you know, Fanne guy. You know what I mean? Who signed? We got Kraus, so we got Nelson who's been doing decent. He can, so to be interesting. You know, mate. I wouldn't mind seeing Chong up front. You know, I wouldn't mind that. Just switch it up, push him up front. You know, we put Clark up front for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think he was too bad. 6.5.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then moving on to the midfield, we will start off with Kraus. Again, interceptions really good. A few bits of nice passes to get out stuff. He was involved a lot in them scenarios in this game. So again, I think I'll go with another 6.5.
I'll give him a 7. I thought he was, you know, he's looking better going forward. Yeah, he does 1 or 2 stray passes, but he tries. His work ethics, you know, really, really good. You know, he's a player that I'd want us to be keeping. You know, I know he's only on loan, but I'd be looking to sign him definitely. I thought he was all right. 7.
Yeah, and again, like I've said, it all depends on that of if he's still out of favour at Mines. You know, if they look at it and think, you know, well, oh, he's paid for Luton, we might try and get back or not. We shall see. Obviously, I hope we can keep him myself because, like you say, the work ethic and his interceptions and all, you know, it's quality really. So like you say, sometimes passing is a bit off, but you know, predominantly it's all right. It's just the odd few games. I think there was a moment where I think him and Chong were playing, doing 1-2s, and I think Chong tried to pass it back to him, and it wasn't a great pass, and he got proper frustrated. But I like to see that in a way because it shows that he's determined to do well, you know, for the club and stuff while he's on loan. Because you got to think, as much as he's on loan, yes, he'll want to, you know, play football and stuff. That's what loans do. They play, you know, the most football essentially, unless they get injured or anything. You know, at the same time, it's not actually where he is, if you get what I mean. So sometimes they don't always show that determination, but he's proper shown it. So shout out to him. And then moving on to Clark. Obviously, well, it's a bit difficult. I'd describe a 6 for Clark because obviously it's early on.
Yeah, we've discussed that. You know, he was strapped. He was obviously carrying something, and then it's gone, or he knows he can't continue. And it's going to happen at some stage. He's played
he's literally played back to back since the Leeds game. So
yeah, and now we've got our midfielders. So I think even if he is fit, then he'd possibly be rested. But yeah, just a 6.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think personally he's out. As I say, I haven't seen anything on it, and things like that. But yeah, it's like you say, it's inevitable. Really, amount of times he kept playing for us. We didn't want to see him play as much, you know. So yeah, good evening, lad. Says Paul. Good to see you in here, mate. Hope you're well. Then moving on to Nelson, one of the better players for us. You know, his deliveries are really good, like I said. You know, tries to link up well with other players when it comes to, you know, going forward and stuff. And yeah, I thought Nelson was pretty good in the game, to be fair. So I will give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. And man of the match. I thought he looked really lively. He isn't showing any fear. He's young. He's good on the ball. He's always looking to go forward. He plays the right pass. You know, it's going to be difficult. I know we need to look after him as well. So it's going to be interesting to see when we're saying, but I think he's going to be definitely being like involved with the squad ahead of a lot more now. because he's just bringing on, and he's going to be one of the positives of the season. I thought he was. His deliveries, he's got do you know what I mean? No fear. He's got that ability. We need to be keeping eye of him. And we took him off. Obviously, he got a yellow card, like I said earlier. But I'll give him a 7.5 man of the match.
Yeah, no, and yeah, I totally agree. It's try and keep hold of him because he does look really good and stuff. And that is his third vote of the season. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for him. So that's good. That's putting him up here in our ratings that we do.
And I've just thought I haven't put him in my lineup, but when we played the QPR, he scored that banger.
He scored that volley, yeah.
I'm happy to have him on the. He'll be on the bench regardless, mate. He's a player that you could bring on. You'd be like, yeah, you could put him anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, because that gave me as a wing back.
Yeah,
right wing back. Yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't even be surprised if he starts. The more I think about it, like in the midfield, in the sort of midfield, like he was the other day. But again, you just want to be a bit cautious because of, if you get a certain amount of yellows. I think that's only his first, but still, if you don't want to have a Johnson sort of situation again. I know that's two yellows, but still. Nelson is a good lad. He played well, 7-ish is about right. Just a booking blotted performance. Yeah. It's one of them, innit, where he's obviously still got a lot to learn. It's similar to what I said with Johnson, innit? When the Swansea reaction, he's obviously still got a lot to learn and stuff, and them little niggly things they won't be doing as much, hopefully, as time goes on, but still got a lot to learn, as we know. And then moving on to the next player, we will go over to the strikers. So we'll start off with Elijah. Again, difficult because of the way we were trying to play, get it up to them and stuff. It was difficult at times. If you can see the lights flickering, bloody hell, you think it's a disco in here. But yeah, no, I thought he tried, but I don't know, man. I think I'm going to still stick by what I said. I think he needs what Morris had, getting rested on the bench and then coming on and trying to cause havoc. I think he needs that. As much as he has got a few goals in the recent weeks, I don't know. I just think he needs that. Brown is making, not as the games have gone on, but previously he's making an impact whether he started or not. He's at least tried to. And I think maybe he might need to do that going forward. Keep Morris on for his leadership and stuff. Obviously if we get a penalty, he'll be the one that takes it and things like that. But yeah, I think Elijah maybe needs that, man. I'm going to be honest. So for me in this game, 6.5 for Elijah.
I'll give him a 6.5. Like, problem is, like, we're predictable in that aspect. You know what I mean? Both of them are hold up, and then you got defenders in and around them, and it's just too easy for them to get marked up. You need another option. Someone different, a bit more dynamic. Do you know what I mean? To give defenses something to think about. And that's part of the problem. So that's why they're not consistent enough. Yes, they're good players on their day, and if the other team's defense ain't great on the day, then they're gonna be there. But it doesn't work all the time, And again, maybe you need to substitute them earlier. I felt Elijah should have come off earlier than he did, but yeah, I'll give him 6.5.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And then obviously moving on to Morris, last player out the starting 11. Again, quite similar to Elijah in the sense of, it's not really their fault, but we're just quite predictable. But I felt in spells, like I said earlier, Morris was good in the sense of holding up the ball, playing it back. Then, so-and-so finding someone else to make a run, and then he was sort of involved at that at times in the game. So, again, I think I'll go another 6.5.
Yeah, and he had the chance late on as well where possibly he could have shot slightly earlier, but the defender was running in and, kind of blocked it. So it's difficult. But, yeah, his hold-up play was decent. He put decent crossing for Elijah. Same sort of thing, really. Just too sort of predictable. So, yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the subs, I'll be honest, I'm just going to give them all a 6.
Well, I'll give them all the 6, apart from Nakamba, because obviously Nakamba come on in the 12th minute. And I think Nakamba done really well. I think it's his best game so far this 100%. Season. He was everywhere, kind of like Kraus was. He was getting forward. He was winning tackles. He was definitely more active than Clark has been in certain games. So I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7.
Bit like us on the table. But yeah, no, I was going to do a separate bit on the camera now, actually. He would have been my man of the match. So I don't really like to give it. If we perform like we did perform decent, but I'm just sick of the constant losing. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I give him one. But I felt he was really good. Yeah. Obviously, I did have them few question marks in the Swansea game. Should we maybe loan him out? You know, but after that game, he was good. And it weren't even just he weren't doing the usual that he does. He was trying like through ball passes as well. You know, and they were really good. A lot of them were actually working out. There was a moment where he tried to play it to Morris. That was unlucky. Morris tried to stretch for it and missed it. But predominantly, he was really good in the game. The Canberra he was, and like I say, if I was to give a man of the match, I would give it to him. You know, as much as he was a sub, the way he come on, obviously earlier, you know, didn't he, and had a really good game. I felt, and you know, if he can continue like that, you know, there's no reason why he can't start games more like he was. I'd still like to see it a lot more away from home, just because, well, especially of our away form. But I think on his day, like I said, when he's in front of that defence, covering up and just doing them little passes and stuff, he's really good. So hopefully we see them type of performances more from him in the game. So yeah, for me, like I say, the others are going for 6 because can't really give them anything else, just average 6. Nakamba, I will go. It's going to sound a bit high, but I'm going to go for 8. Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8 for that really good performance when he come on. But yeah, moving on to all of that. So overall, disappointing again to lose. Moment of magic from Norwich. And as for us, well, we got to start picking up away now because the home form is gone now. You know, so we need to start picking up away. And obviously, we have got an away day next, which is obviously QPR away. We've already played them twice this season, as we all know. Not great games from our side of things anyway. Obviously, playing them in the League Cup first, losing that game. Obviously, on penalties, it was in the end. 1-1 draw. And again, I remember that game. It was similar performance to Preston away in the sense that we were so dominant, but we just couldn't really take our chances. You know, and again, that game annoyed me. But one, because we lost, and second of all, the armband situation. That was when the armband went around about 3-4 times in the game, and it was just like, why is no one keeping hold of it? What are we doing here? It weren't great to see, to be quite honest with you. One positive of that game was obviously Nelson scoring that spectacular goal. You know, he done really well in right wing back that game. You know, really, really good. I think that's probably where he got the man of the match from us in them other votes from probably that game, to be honest. And then obviously I played him a few days later in the league, lost that game. That was the start of the the final, you know, day of the window actually as well. So that didn't really help us in that sense because we were playing that day. We didn't really, on top of doing our late business, we couldn't really get anyone, and because we were playing at that time as well, so that didn't really help. Trying to get some last minute bargains and stuff like that, as you know, but didn't really work. But yeah, so we lost both times. That was frustrating. You know, in that game, I think there was a bit of a performance in the first half where we looked okay, but second half it just went to crap basically. Fry done a fortnight dance on us. It weren't great. So the last 2 games we have against them are not great. The last league game at their place, obviously we'll know that very well. You know, was obviously the 3-0 win when Doughty scored that spectacular goal. Obviously, he is set to be back for this game as well. So that's a positive. Obviously, he is a Millwall fan as well, so have that extra determination to score and do well anyway. And yeah, it was just a really dominant performance. But again, that was a different time. Let's be honest, guys. That was a different time. We were high flying. We were just breaking records left, right, and centre, especially away against teams that we haven't beat for X amount of years and stuff like that. And you know, we don't have a great record against QPR overall, but let's go into the stats and all of that. So, as for the table, if QPR did win, it could be massive for them, to be honest. They could actually go to 13th, and they're currently in 16th, which means they'll be a point behind, 2 points behind Swansea in 12th. As for us, obviously, we sit 20th. If we did win, highest we could probably go is 18th. Not above Oxford unless we, you know, win 4-0, you know, which just ain't going to happen. So yeah, it's not looking great. You know, if Hull did win yesterday, which it looked like they were going to at one point, you know, we would have dropped down to 21st. But lucky enough, we're in 20th. And yeah, it's just not great. I mean, a draw, we would stay where we are because Stoke are 2 points ahead of us. QPR, they could go, well, they could go probably 15th with a draw. So yeah, it's not great, but a bit more insight. Queen's Park Rangers have lost only one of their last 15 home league games against Luton, winning 9, drawing 5. Though that sole loss came in a 3-0 game, like I say, in December 2022. Luton Town have won 2 of their last 3 league meetings with Queen's Park Rangers, losing 1, as many victories over the hoops as across their 25 prior games, drawing 9, losing 14. Queen's Park Rangers have won just 1 of their last 6 home league games played on a Monday, drawing 1, losing 4, beating Derby County 1-0 in April 2022. Luton Town have lost each of their last 9 away games, as we know. The longest ongoing streak, by the way, guys, on the road in England's top 4 tiers. It's just not good. And then Luton's, Dad, you remember this one. Luton's most recent away game in London, played on a Monday, saw them lose 7-0 to Fulham in May 2022. Though the Hatters won their only game in the capital so far this season, 1-0 win, obviously at Millwall. Yeah, that Fulham game, we did an instant reaction because we were just fuming with that. And again, Fulham were great that year, but at the same time, to concede 7 was just not good enough. I remember at the time we were saying, you know, we could accept a 3-1 defeat, you know, something like that. But when I looked at our team back then, we've only got like 2 free players we still have now. But yeah, it was crazy that them times there for us. And obviously we had emergency goalkeepers upon emergency goalkeepers, but still weren't great. And even that 1-0 win against Millwall, yes, we won it, but geez, if we didn't have Kaminsky, we wouldn't have won it. You know, that's one way to put that game. So yeah, not a lot of good records against QPR over the years. A bit more on it. Obviously, we'll be hoping to get back to winning ways after 3 consecutive defeats over the festive period. The R's have turned their poor form around earlier on in the season with just 1 defeat in the last 10 games. It was a difficult start to campaign for QPR as they occupied the Sky Championship's bottom spot after 16 games. The R's began their rise up to the table in a 2-0 away win at Cardiff City as November drew to a close. 3 wins and 3 clean sheets from 5 followed, with an impressive 3-0 against Norwich at Loftus Road being the highlight. With no league victories at Loftus going into December, the R's have rediscovered their home comforts with 4 wins on the bounce. So this is just not a great time to play them, if we're going to be honest. You know, let's be honest, guys. The earlier times in the season were a better time to play them because they were doing so poor. But they obviously picked up, like I say. The referee will be Andy Davies. 61 yellow cards and no red cards have been handed out by him across his 15 games this season. Only 4 of his last 15 games this season were outside of the Championship. He last took charge of one of our fixtures when we beat Blackpool. That was the 3-1 win we got against them. I remember doing a watch along to that. So, yeah, I can't really remember him in that game, to be honest. I just remember us. I think we conceded first and then won 3-1, if I remember rightly. But again, different circumstances. We were much better at them times there. After saying all that, Dad, another away day. How you feeling? Probably the same old.
They're one of our rivals. Do you know what I mean? We normally have good games against them. You know, you said just then, like, it was better to play them earlier, so we did play them earlier in the season. We still lost. Do you know what I mean? They are in good form. There is that rivalry, but also, you know, if Doughty's come out, that could be a big boost for us. If Fanne starts, that could be a little boost. We've got some players back, so it's just our away record is just so bad. And I know if it doesn't turn, Rob will be gone. But even if I just don't know where it's coming from. But I do think there'll be a better performance. But yeah, I just think we'll probably get edged out again. I'm not super confident, and why should we be? You know what I mean? But it is football. Strange things happen. I remember years ago, I think Middlesbrough were top of the league. We were bottom of the league. They had the best home record. We had the worst away record, and we beat them 5-1. Do you know what I mean? But I can't see that happening really. But I do think it'll be a better performance, especially if certain players are back. I really do. But they're they've done really well recently against some right teams as well. You know what I mean? So and kept clean sheets as well. So it's going to be very difficult, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, exactly. And going on their home form, their last 5, they haven't actually lost in any of their last 5, drawing the first one out of the last 5, and then winning all the latest 4. And as for us away, well, it's been shocking. As we all know, we're now 23rd because obviously Oxford have since then got a win and a draw away from home. So it's one of them where it's even worse. It's crazy. 4 points away. It's just not good enough, is it really? So yeah, man. But let's go through some more comments. Yeah, no worries. Good to see you in here, Ed. Big up to yourself, mate. Good to see you in here. And good to see Harry in here as well. Big up to yourself, mate. Yeah, we're decent. Hope you're well, mate. And Jackie obviously says the stats are not good. Yeah, no, they're terrible. They're terrible. But again, good to see you in here. Charlie's put his lineup in, so we will get into ours now. So I will start off with mine. What I will get into going into this game. So for me, that's what I'm going to go with going into this game. So Kaminsky in goal goes without saying. I'm going to go with a back 3 Bell, because it is going to be a back 3, to be honest. I'm going to go Bell, McGuinness and Holmes. Again, I know I'll say what I say about Bell in left centre back, but with Doughty being back, I wouldn't mind seeing him there, to be honest. McGuinness, he's cemented that middle place at the moment. And then Holmes, we've seen him play a few times on the right. He's done all right there, to be fair. And I like Holmes. So I'll go with that. Anderson hasn't really been coming on, really, except that game he started a few games ago. But other than that, he's not really coming on. Otherwise, I'd probably, put him in. Seen maybe Bell and rested Bell, put Bell on the bench. Or even put Bell left wing back, then Doughty on the bench. But I'll go Real Walters on the right. Again, I know I'll say what I say about Hashioka. I don't mind Walters. I just want to see Hashioka play more, but I'll go with Walters in this game. Doughty on the left, I think put him straight back in, really. Just hopefully we're not as reliant on him on every single set piece, like we say. But, like I say, being a Millwall fan, have that extra determination. Did score against them last time out at their ground in the league. So I'll go with Doughty. Put him straight back in. And then I'll go on Krause and Nakamba. Again, you're away from home, so go with the 2 CDMs in that centre midfield. Nakamba, especially with his performance the last game. Krause, he's working really hard. And then ahead of them, I'm going to go with Chong. Put him in his actual position. Clark being out could be a good opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Nelson instead. Which I wouldn't mind, but I don't know. Let's use Chong to his strength. A bit more experience than Nelson. Let's use him. And in the front 2, I've changed it. I've got Morris. Again, stick with him, leader, everything like that. And then I've gone Brown alongside him. I feel, him and Elijah, Morris and Elijah, it's getting too predictable week upon week. And Brown has tried to make an impact, whether he's started or not. So that's the reason I've gone with them 2 up front. Going into this game. So that's my lineup. Going into your lineup, Dad. There you go.
Yeah, well, I've gone again with a 3-5-2. Obviously, same back 3. You could see Johnson come back, maybe. But as I said, before, Bell's got more experience, and I just think that he probably, he will say it's probably potentially his last season for us, maybe. Walters, I'll be putting him straight back there now, and then Doughty. So they're natural wing backs, pretty much. So that's good. I'll be, and then I'm having the 3 in midfield. I think Nakamba, he can sit in between. He can push back on that as well. Krause probably still going to start, and then my man making his debut as well. That's what I want to see. I think we could see that. especially with Clark being out. I know we got Walsh, but I don't think Walsh deserves to just come up straight back in the team. Baptista, because he's still injured. We're not going to play Ruddock. Do you know what I mean? We signed this guy for a reason. He's been playing, he's been training enough recently. So start him and see what he's about. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, change it up front. Morris, because if he'd be the captain, you know, more than likely. And just change it up a little bit, put Brown there. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Just the one change. Like I say, obviously a new signing. He is expected to be involved in some sort of way, whether that is starting on the bench, or we shall see. Obviously, a lot of us have been looking forward to seeing him, especially ever since he obviously, you know, done that, you know, applause at Kenilworth Road and stuff like that to obviously announce him properly. So we shall see. Charlie says his lineup's Kaminsky, Holmes, McGuinness, Bell, still gone Chong as a wing back, Walters, Kraus, Nakamba, Morrison, Eli. Fair enough. Yeah, obviously you know my thoughts. I just don't like Chong at wing back, but all our opinions and stuff. Oh mate, it's just getting bad, isn't it? Really, it's getting to that stage where something has to happen at some point. So I cannot see it where it changes. I just have to be honest, guys, especially away. And it's like I said, you know, as soon as that home form gets bad, you know, we lose a game or whatever, two, whatever, more. Where are we getting points anywhere? Really, you know what I mean? It's all mad, really. We're lucky, if we're being honest, or are we lucky? I don't know. It's a bit 50-50. You could say we're probably lucky we're not playing the better sides, let's be honest, like Burnley, Sheffield United and that, all at once. But then the narrative probably would be, oh, but it's them lot. You know what I mean? But we should be competing with them either way. So it's frustrating. So yeah, it's just a bit jarring now, to be honest. But yeah, moving on to score predictions. Yeah. Dad, is it going to be 10 away defeats on the bounce?
I don't know. Part of me thinks we might sneak something, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say we lose. It's going to be a good game. I think we will give them a good game, but I think they'll just narrowly snatch it. So I'm going to go 3-2 QPR.
Ooh, goals galore. Okay.
In the past times as well, to be honest.
Fair enough. As for me, yeah, I have to go for a defeat, guys. You know, I'm going to be honest, and people aren't going to like to hear this, but I'm being honest. I've got no confidence in us whatsoever. 3-0 QPR. And I just think, you know, they've limited teams to scoring. You know, I didn't back us to score against Bristol City. We didn't. I didn't against Swansea, but we did. But even then, you know, that's from their era. Fair enough, we capitalised on it, but still, we didn't really cause anything. And I think QPR, you know, they're in really good form at the moment. I hate to admit it, but they are. Do you know what I mean? And we're away, we're terrible away. We couldn't beat them when they were worse, and I think they'll punish us even worse this time, unfortunately. You know, hopefully it is that saying, third time lucky, but I just can't see it right now, guys, to be quite honest with you. I was going to say 3-1, but I'm going to go 3-0, unfortunately. But yeah, everyone else's score predictions. David's gone same as me, 3-0 QPR. He's gone the exact same. Harry's gone 2-0 QPR, which is fair enough. Even Jackie's gone with the same as me. She's got 3-0. Draw would be nice, but I can't see it. Yeah, exactly. I can't see it. That's just if we're at home, even though we just lost the last home game, you know, then maybe. But I can't see it away, man. And Charlie's gone even worse. He's gone 4-0 or 1-0 with Morris getting a goal. Dad, who are your two goal scorers?
I'm going to go Doughty and Morris.
Fair enough. Obviously, I can't do one, unfortunately. But if I did, I would say Doughty as well, to be honest. 2-1 Luton loss, says Aidan. And again, I know Aidan predicts us to win quite a lot, or not lose anyway. And even he's gone 2-1 defeat. Ed obviously said this earlier on. Realistically, how do you see tomorrow night? 9 times out of 10, we leave Loftus Road with nothing. I would say going back to the history books. I think goal difference is now dead and we can't pull that. But yeah, our goal difference is terrible. absolutely terrible. -16. That's not good enough. We've already conceded more goals, like I said, against Swansea in that reaction. Then we have the whole of the season we went up. We've just about gone halfway through it. So that's not good enough, guys. And again, I obviously we've said our predictions. We're both predicting a loss. Unfortunately, obviously you've gone a little bit closer, Dad. Same goals for them. But yeah, I'm just not confident with us, especially away from home. You know, you'd be happy to take a draw in any away game at the moment. So yeah, it's one of them really. With us, well, talking about Woodrow, obviously apparently Wrexham have been a bit transfer news before we wrap up. One of them being obviously Woodrow. You know, Wrexham potentially having a little look at him. I mean, majority of Luton fans, if we're going to be honest, would be happy with this, including, well, me for sure, because again, guys, I've got high expectations for him, like I say, because like they stated he's the best finisher at the club. So if you're the best finisher at the club, you should be burying chances like you had against Coventry, like you had against Bristol City, I think it was. You know, them type of chances you should be scoring. You know, his goal record's not great. You know, some people go, oh, but he hasn't played often. That he's had more than enough time in games to come on. I think in that Man United game in the Premier League, when Elijah got injured in the warm-up, great opportunity for him to step up. He didn't. And again, guys, a lot of it goes down to the best finisher statement. And again, I know he's impacted games. He's got a few late-minute goals and stuff. But overall, he's not been good enough since he's come back. So if that is the case, I'll be happy. You know, I wouldn't get too much for him, obviously. Probably maybe, I don't know, what's he probably worth? About 500k maybe? Something like that. You know, but I would take it, to be honest. How would you feel, Dad, if anything did develop?
It's just not worked out. So, you know, he's better off. He's not the answer going forward either, is he? So you might as well, you know, take the money now or whatever and get him off the wage bill and hopefully bring someone else in who's hungry and is a bit fearless, basically. That's what I think. Different dynamic.
And it's even like before Taylor started coming on more, you know, a bit earlier on in the season, Woodrow was coming on before him. It's like it's going on, you know, in his 30s, and Taylor's obviously a lot younger. It's like it's annoying from that side of things. Again, I think Taylor goes, guys. I still think he goes. But yeah, it's just frustrating, isn't it? Really, when it comes to that. So I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. And again, I know a lot of fans comments on other social medias. They wouldn't mind it anyway. It's things like that. But again, other rumours, Tom Cannon rumours flying around again. Apparently, us and Sheffield United, Leicester are trying to, you know, recall him from Stoke so they can sell him. Again, like I said last time, guys, I would take him. Obviously, this season he's shone for Stoke, if we're going to be honest. Scored 9 goals in 22 appearances, obviously 4 in one game against Portsmouth at the start of October. 6-1 win. He scored against us as well, didn't he? When we played Stoke as well. I would take him. I just can't see us paying that for him. Anything you want to add on that, Bud?
I possibly see us paying for him, but I don't think he wants to come for us. You know what I mean? If we bid for him initially and he was like, no, I only want a loan deal because I feel I can get back into the Leicester squad who are struggling, but still, you know, at the moment are better than Luton. We are struggling. I just can't see it. Can't see it now. We've missed that boat potentially. So we probably need to go lower. You know, League One, someone who's doing decent in that league. That's what I think. I think it's just being recycled because we were linked with him before. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if I'm being honest, guys, apparently us and Sheffield Wednesday are the team's rumoured. If I'm him, I'm going Sheffield Wednesday right now. You know, they could actually have a good chance of maybe, you know, being in that playoff conversation. I don't think they'll win them, obviously, but I think they could be in there the way they're playing. And we're just, you know, it's like Mike said the other day, you know, anyone that comes to us, they're in a relegation battle at the moment. You know, you've got to look at that as well. Will these players be determined to fight like that, or do they want to try and progress? You know, and that's the problem, guys. That's another problem with us. You know, being in this fight, we can't attract loads of players that we could have maybe attract the season went up to the Prem, maybe, you know, sort of thing. So it's just frustrating. But the last thing, this was probably the most circulated and that is that Jones from Middlesbrough. Obviously, you know, apparently we've been a lot of that comes down to Ben Doak if he stays. I don't think he will. He obviously is only on loan from Liverpool, and I think Liverpool want to keep him, to be quite honest with you. So I don't think this will happen. But you know, if the board are willing to back Edwards like they've basically said they are, then he is the type of player that could do with us. To be fair, he can play right wing and right wing back. Obviously, we don't play on wingers; we play wing backs. So he could be really good there. However, I do have to think to myself, well, if this does happen, then what happens to Hashioka and, you know, them players there? Not Walters, because I think Walters is more featured, but as Hashioka maybe get loaned out or something. I don't know. But again, that obviously comes down to the Doak situation. I think he stays. A lot of this rumours anyway is because of Middlesbrough changed their formation, or they have. They used to play how we play, but now they play with back four. But I would take him, man. His goal contributions are really good, actually, for you know, right wing back. Obviously, he's a right winger as well, like I say, but really good goal contributions would definitely help us. Championship experience as well. I would definitely take him, but I just think it's unlikely because of the Ben Doak saga, basically. Would you take him, Dad?
Maybe only if it's a free. Like I could just see another Joel situation with that guy. Like, and it's we keep saying I want to go forward at the back as well. And like, nah, not for me, not really. Priorities should be strikers and attacking midfielder. For me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with striker. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, it's all interesting. I mean, I don't think that'll happen anyway. That's why I haven't really reported on it, guys. Well, I thought I might as well now because you know, I just can't see these happening really. You know, the Woodrow situation is only a looking at him situation. You know, they're not as far as I'm aware looking to follow it up at the moment. And then obviously the others are, you know, heavily reliant on direct situation. I see him staying at Liverpool and stuff. So yeah, that's why I haven't really spoke on these, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, see Woodrow. Yeah, we'll see if anything develops on that. But at the moment, nothing except they're just looking at him. But Dad, any final things you want to say before we wrap up?
Nah, let's just see what happens. Monday night football. And then it's the FA Cup, I think. So
yeah, it is. Yeah,
and
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, well, you know that's going to be an interesting one. So they'll rest players, obviously, and we're not really going for it because if we're mid-table or whatever, maybe we would. But we're like say in a relegation battle at the moment. You're not going to put your best players out there, so we'll make changes as well. It's just a write-off, isn't it? That it, you know. But it gives a little break from the league and maybe a chance for some transfer business, etc. But yeah, no, let's just see what happens. You know, I'm pleased that Doughty's going to be back. Got new signings. We got a few players back from injury as well. That's where you know you can't have any excuses after that. Really, if you've got to get in, you know, we're looking to have decent options on the bench and stuff, then you can't be having them excuses for all them injuries now, can you? You know what I mean? So I want to see a performance tomorrow night, at the very least, you know what I mean, a close run thing. Whereas on another day, if we play like that going forward away, then we should be picking up points. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, we'll get into that Forest game nearer the time. Yeah, obviously we'll get into that on Friday. But yeah, it's one of them where I'm not really confident in it. Obviously, without getting into it too much. Obviously, when we play Forest, they're usually quite close. The way they're doing this year, the way we're doing. I'm not confident, guys, as you'd expect. But obviously, we'll see what happens tomorrow. You know, we'll see if there's any hope. If anything, I mean, it is the cup. You never know. But yeah, we shall see what happens with that and everything like that. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Obviously, do smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Do obviously subscribe to the channel as well. Big up to everyone that has subscribed recently. and stuff. 15 new subscribers from the Mike fan cam, so big up 4 from my reaction as well. So big up to everyone for that. I will be doing another one tomorrow after the game, so do check that out. And then what I'm probably thinking of doing, because obviously we get Daw on the channel on Friday, is doing a reaction during the week, Dad, probably on like Tuesday or something, and then we can get straight into that Forest game and stuff, seeing that it is the FA Cup as well. And then obviously from there on in, you know, if any news comes out, we sign anyone, obviously, you know, or it looks like stuff's going to happen, obviously I'll do a T-Boy discussions and stuff like that. And yeah, from there on in, nothing really else. Forest, there'll probably be a reaction again. You know, if there's any ways to watch it, obviously Luton will announce that during the week. But if there is, then obviously I'll do a reaction to that as well, straight after the game. And obviously we have the hat shows as well, reacting to it as well, a few days after, stuff like that. So big up to everyone that's tuned in. Like I say, smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the extra channel as well. And yeah, watching on playback, smash a like, all of that. And I will see you lot tomorrow for the reaction to the game. And then we'll see you on Tuesday for a hat show where we dissect it even more. So yeah, till then, take care and peace.
Peace.